If you're an introvert, you've probably spent a lot of your life adapting. Adapting to loud workplaces, group meetings, and to people who think talking faster means thinking better, and environments that reward visibility, social energy, and constant interaction. And maybe you've quietly thought there has to be another way to live. There might be, but here's the uncomfortable part. Nobody is required to create that world for you. At some point, you may have to build your own space. And that's where entrepreneurial thinking becomes important. Now, when I say entrepreneurship, I'm not necessarily talking about quitting your job, raising millions of dollars, or becoming the next tech billionaire. I'm talking about learning how to create value on your own terms through a consulting practice, a specialized service, a digital product, or an intellectual property business. Something that lets you use the way you naturally think to gain greater control over how you work and live. For introverts, that can be incredibly powerful. But here's where I'm going to be slightly contrarian. Being introverted does not automatically make you a good entrepreneur. Thinking deeply is not enough. Being observant is not enough. Having brilliant ideas at 2 o'clock in the morning isn't enough. And spending 6 months privately perfecting something nobody asked for is definitely not enough. Introverts can become trapped inside their own intelligence. We see patterns, imagine possibilities, analyze weaknesses, and mentally build entire systems. But sometimes we never put those ideas into practice. We confuse thinking about execution with actual execution. That's dangerous in entrepreneurship, because the market doesn't pay you for the complexity of your thoughts. It responds to the value of the problem you solve. And this is where many intelligent introverts make a mistake. They fall in love with the solution before investigating the problem. They build the website, create the product, write the book, design the course, and perfect the logo. And then ask, where are the customers? That's backward. Entrepreneurial thinking requires something introverts don't always enjoy. You have to leave your internal world long enough to investigate the external one. You have to talk to people, ask uncomfortable questions, listen without defending your idea, and discover what people repeatedly struggle with and frustrate them. And perhaps most importantly, what they care enough about actually to do something about. Because not every problem is a business opportunity, and not every brilliant idea deserves to be built. That's the difference between imagination and entrepreneurial thinking. Imagination asks, what could I create? Entrepreneurial thinking asks, what problem is worth solving? Introverts have an advantage here. We often notice what other people overlook. We observe inefficiencies, recognize patterns, and spend time thinking about why systems don't work. But the advantage disappears if the insight never leaves your head. Your private thoughts must eventually come to light. So maybe the goal isn't to become more extroverted. The goal is to become more investigative, then decide your next steps. You don't have to build a loud life or become a networking machine. And you don't have to imitate the entrepreneur shouting into a camera about waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But if you want a life that better reflects who you are, you may have to take greater responsibility for creating it. The world may never design the perfect space for you. Maybe that's your job. But don't disappear into isolation and call it a strategy. Don't confuse imagination with evidence. And don't spend years building a solution to the wrong problem. Before you build the business, investigate how you think. Take the free Do You Think Like an Entrepreneur quiz. It contains 9 questions, takes about 2 minutes to complete, and provides immediate results. You may discover that entrepreneurship fits the way you naturally think. Or you may discover something even more valuable: what you need to work on before you build. Take the quiz and find out how entrepreneurial you really think. You may take the quiz now by visiting stratolithic.com.